What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ticket to Anywhere podcast. I am Trizzy,
And I'm Leah, LA in Flight.
and we have just finished an episode talking about how we plan our trips and what type of resources we use. We're piggybacking off of our last episode with Bob from the Traveler's Blueprint because they had a, 5-tier guide on how to plan your trips and how they would plan your trips if you were to book with them because they have a consultancy service as well.
And Trizzy and I, as we were listening to Bob, we realized we're quite different than him. Generally, we have a little bit more time. And Bob also has a family. You know, he has to take others into consideration, whereas like I'm usually going solo and you only have one other person to consult with, right?
Yeah.
So we thought it would be fun to, especially if you're new here to Ticket to Anywhere or you're just joining in, to kind of show you how we plan, what resources we use, how we budget, in hopes that it will give you ideas or introduce you to some new ways of traveling, new ways of research, some apps you may have never heard of. We learned stuff about each other that we didn't really know before. We've known each other for so long, but there are tiny little things, and you'll notice throughout the episode, there are tiny little things that we do like completely opposite of each other, which is always really funny. But that's why we exist. This podcast.
Yes, we exist. That's why we exist. I love how you said that.
It is like, yeah.
That is true. I did approach you because we're so different.
Exactly. Because then we'd just be like mimicking each other the whole time. If we were the exact same traveler.
So boring.
Be like, yeah, each episode. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Like, I totally do that too, but nope, we're complete opposites. For instance, Leah would go to friends first to, get their experience on a trip, but me going to friends is like my last resort.
Last resort. She's like, trust nobody.
Yeah, trust nobody.
No, trust nobody.
I don't know. For some reason, I just like doing my own research first and then going back and yeah.
Because like you said, you don't want to be like influenced necessarily.
Mm-hmm. On our travels, on our trips, what we always plan is coffee and tea. Leah, 100%. What is your coffee for the episode?
So where I live, I have this cute little coffee shop called Havana Savannah. And every Monday they give like 7% of what you pay back to you. So yeah, so you get basically rewards every Monday for spending your money there. So at Havana Savannah today, since I'm doing a sugar-free month, as you'll hear me complain about in the episode, I am drinking a sugar-free hazelnut oat milk latte. And it's been tough because if you don't know, I, Leah, am probably a sugar addict. No, and I'm talking about added sugar, added like fake sugar. I'm not talking about like fruits, natural sugar, etc. So my coffee is always iced as per usual. So it's a iced oat milk latte with sugar-free hazelnut from Havana Savannah. It's delicious and it's getting me through the afternoon. Let's switch topics and talk about your tea.
My tea, because I got a little heat in my throat. I am drinking Ceylon tea that I got from Dubai. And I don't know if I've mentioned, but the way I made it today was I bought a bunch of mint leaves the other day. So I was like, what can I make? So I crushed the mint leaves, add a little palm sugar in there, and then put it with the Ceylon tea because when I was out in the desert in Dubai, they made me one of the bombest teas ever. And so I'm trying to mimic it. And yeah, that's what's keeping me up. It does this trick. It's not the same because I think they used sugar rather than palm sugar. And I think that was like one of the biggest difference.
Oh, okay. I had mint tea in Morocco too. It's like, some of the best mint tea I've ever had in my life. So
yeah,
they just do it differently in those parts,
That's true, man. That's true.
Well, we hope you enjoy this upcoming episode of how to plan, how we plan, and we hope you learn something new.
Cheers.
So cheers to that.
This is Leah and Trizzy, and we are two voices, two views, and two ways to adventure from anywhere.
We prioritize travel in our lives and we both travel very differently.
Every other Wednesday, we drop episodes featuring the coolest travelers around the globe, local business owners, community episodes from you, and of course, us, your resident travel lovers.
This is Ticket to Anywhere podcast. Watch us on YouTube or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Safety Wing is the world's first international travel medical insurance developed to meet the needs of entrepreneurs and remote workers traveling or living abroad worldwide. The Safety Wing Nomad Insurance includes both travel and travel medical insurance, which includes coverage for any travel delays, lost checked bags, emergency response, and natural disasters, plus coverage and access to qualified global network of hospitals and doctors for unexpected medical problems and accidents, and any emergency medical evacuations. You can sign up for Nomad Insurance even if your trip is already happening, or sign up in advance by selecting a future start date. For only $42 per 4 weeks, you can be covered under Safety Wing and its Nomad Insurance. Click the link in our description for more info and to sign up. Safe travels! So let's just jump right into it because we are going to get to talk about how we travel, plan, and budget through the perspectives of Leah and Trizzy.
Exactly. And 2 weeks ago, we brought you a great episode with Bob of the Traveler's Blueprint, one of my personal favorite travel podcasts because they're all about tips, news. They bring in amazing guests, and they've created, this 5-part blueprint on how to model your trips. And one of my favorite lines from that episode was when Bob said, you don't have to pick a style of traveling and do it forever, right? You're free and allowed to mold it and change it to your needs and wherever you are in life, wherever you are in the world, right? But I think if you've been following us for a while, you've been with us for a while, and Trizzy and I have known each other almost, 15 years or whatnot. We travel specific ways. We, generally plan a specific way, right? So we are going to detail that. Basically, I said earlier, this is an amalgamation, big word, I know, amalgamation of a lot of other parts of different episodes. So we are solely focused today on our planning resources, our inspiration, even what apps we use, and how we budget for our travels.
How do you decide on where you want to go?
I am definitely ruled by destination and not by deal. As I've mentioned before,
I love that.
I'm not just the type to sit there and be like, where's the cheapest place to go? Which I think is more of a curse probably. Because when I get in my head, okay, I want to go to Costa Rica or I want to go to Portugal and I need to go at this time, I need to go next summer, or I need to go to Portugal next May for my milestone birthday, right? But it's high season that, that's not the cheapest time usually to go to that. But I do it because there's an event attached to it, right? A milestone birthday. So a lot of people travel, they utilize something like Scott's Cheap Flights or Travel Zoo Details, and they'll say, wow, I just found a super inexpensive flight to Norway in the middle of winter. And that's probably a more cost efficient way to travel.
Right.
I feel like I should be more into the deals, but I think you're similar, right?
I'm very similar. Yeah. Mine is also from my gut, and if I've held out a specific destination for X amount of years, X amount of months, then I want to try and make it happen sooner rather than later. For example, Egypt, that's been 4 years in the making and still circulating plans about that. Hopefully, I'll nail it down this year. But sometimes I'll crash a family's vacation. Like with my sister, for instance, she decided that she was going to go in Philippines November 2019. I had already gone to the Philippines January 2019. And then when she brought that up, I was like, hey, I'm about to crash it too.
I'll go back.
I'm gonna go back because I don't want to miss out
Yeah.
on my nephew's first time out of the country. So I just make all
Oh.
these crazy excuses, and then from there we tack on a different country that we haven't been to. That's where Thailand came along. That's where Taiwan came along as well.
Mhm.
So, and
Mhm.
on top of that, sometimes if there's a specific event, like a wedding event, then
Yep.
that's when our deciding factor is.
Yep.
I'll go to the Philippines in August because we have a wedding.
Mhm. And even
Yeah.
better, right, when that event is in a place you've never been to before. So I'm
Hmm.
going to, or by the time this releases, I will be in Bali.
For a
And
wedding as
country
well.
for a wedding, country number 24, my Kobeeth country. I know. I'm not a Are you a country? You're not a country counter, really? Not
I
really.
count it in my own head. Like, I'll count it in
Yes.
my own head, but I'm not gonna
But it's
parade
not
about it.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do that either because we've both
Mm,
said, like, I like, the Philippines really well because you've been there so many times, and, like,
mhm.
I appreciate people who travel like that
Yeah. Like, you
because
just
to
frequent
me,
back
it's
because why not repeat it? There's so
right.
much to do.
So much to do, and just, yeah, I love learning how people how much they know about a country, right?
Mhm.
So it's funny because people are always like, oh, even on dates, guys are like, you've probably been to so many countries. And I'm like, no, I've been to 23 countries. It's not a lot, but but I've traveled a ton. It's just that, I've spent long amounts of time in
Mhm.
one
Yeah.
country.
And that's
So
the
yeah.
level that I hope to get to, the slow travel level.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
get there. You got
Yeah, I
time.
know.
You got
I know I got
time.
time.
Maybe 2020,
Exactly.
maybe 2023 is your year.
Manifest it, everybody, manifest it
Yeah.
for
I mean,
me.
that's what we all said about 2020, right? This is my year.
Yeah.
2020 was nobody's year, yo. Was nobody's year. So
2020 was actually
sad.
my national park year. That's when everything exploded with
Yeah.
outdoors and nature. For obvious
That's really
reasons,
good.
that's when
Mhm.
everybody was more comfortable being outdoors.
The year of your home country.
Okay, so once you decide on where you want to go, what type of resources do you use for your
Mhm.
planning?
Yeah. So with planning, it's interesting because I care. Also, if you don't know this about me, my worst fear is losing my memory. And that's why gosh, I'm going to knock on all the wood around me. That's why, like, these next few sentences are so important, is because I usually try to rack my brain and remember who's been there recently, and then be like, oh yeah, so and so has, and this person has, and that person has. But like, if you lose your memory, whether it's short term or long term, you won't be able to memorize that anymore. So I usually go to people I know who have been there recently, or have had great experiences there, or they've were there for a long time, or they're doing exactly what I'm doing, and ask them their experiences. So I think I go directly to people first, and then after that I'll do a little bit of Google searching, but like you, I get quite overwhelmed, right? So in that case, I'll go to like save sections of either Pinterest or TikTok or Instagram, and go through like my saved and categorized, and kind of remember those things, pull them back up, add them to a list, right? And that's where the social media usage comes in. Or I will search hashtags, which is brilliant. I remember when Instagram years ago made hashtags searchable, I was like, this is such a game changer, because I still follow a lot of hashtags, like Costa Rica, hashtag Costa Rica, or hashtag choose Philippines, which is, the official slogan for the Philippines from the tourism board. And I feel like there's a lot of discovery under that as well. And I know you can do that on a lot of other platforms. So I do that. And then it's interesting because the order of like how I prioritize what I buy, and that, this kind of leads more into the budget, which we'll get into later. But for example, I'll buy an event so it doesn't sell out first, or if the trip is based on an event, so like Glastonbury 2019, which is a music festival in England, you have to buy those tickets a year in advance. So I bought them in 2018, right? And then we bought them. We got in. I know, praise baby Jesus for Kate for getting all 6 tickets at once. I don't know how she did it, but she did. It's like waiting in line for your Coachella tickets. And you buy those so they don't sell out. And then after the rush of that, we kind of just chilled for a few months because we have so much we have so much time to plan this. We have like 10 months to plan this.
Right.
So we're good. But buy the event so it doesn't sell out. Then I buy the flight because that's obviously a very large expense, right?
Mhm.
And that I monitor through various portals, Google Flights, Skyscanner being two of my favorites. Those are also going to be in the app section. And then buy other events that I think might sell out. This is prevalent, especially in COVID times, right? Where a lot of things you have to, what's it called, book ahead, or you have to reserve in advance, right?
Mhm.
So if someone is coming to Southern California for Disneyland, Disneyland is still only taking reservations per day. So if you're traveling from Michigan to come to Anaheim to go to Disneyland, you probably got to book it like 6 months in advance.
Yeah.
And then you start planning after that. So other events I think might sell out, if there's like a yacht party that it's like a 50-person yacht or a multi-day trip, like a boat trip, like I did a bunch of the Philippines, I'll buy
Mhm.
that so it doesn't sell out, or if it's time sensitive, etc. Then I buy the hotel, which a lot of times that comes last, and a lot of times I won't even, especially me who stays in hostels, like budget backpacker turned flashpacker, all hostels. Sometimes I won't even buy till I'm on the ground, just because there's an availability of them, and it's, if you lose it for whatever reason, it's not such a huge monetary loss, right? And then transport is like last.
I
Yeah.
think I think all yours is so completely different than mine. Like friends would be
Wait, I did
yeah,
not know
friends
that.
friends are like my last resort.
That no way.
Yeah, I do.
Shut up. I did not know this about you.
Everybody's experience is different, so I don't wanna have to rely on their experience.
Right. I guess I just like get lazy. I get lazy at first. I'm like, tell me what you did and then I'll decide if I liked it or not.
Right, right.
Whoa. Okay,
True.
okay, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Oh, you good. But yeah, basically, if I can't find an answer on the internet as far as like transportation, like who should I go to, then I'll ask
Mhm.
friends or people who I know have been there. Um, I would always jump onto Orbitz first to do my
Mhm.
research for flights and hotels. But then after that, I will book direct with flights. Hotels, sometimes I'll book through Orbitz because I have
Mhm.
status with them and I get that Orbucks back.
Dang,
Yeah, you know.
status.
But if I don't feel like that hotel, I guess like have a lot of credibility to it, but I want to try and stay there, then I'll try and book direct with them
Okay.
because it's just safer that way, instead of going
Mhm.
through a third party. Um,
100%.
yeah.
100%.
And for me, I'm not a big reader.
Mhm.
I haven't read a lot of books in my lifetime. And if there's a long article, I'm sorry, I skip through it. If it's a
Mhm.
listicle, then I'll do it. So,
Mhm.
anybody listening, have a listicle section in your article section.
Yeah, we love bullet points.
Mhm.
We love headers where you can
Exactly.
jump to that section, right?
Exactly. And then if it is an article, I would love to see how long the read will be. So, how sometimes
Oh,
articles
yeah,
will
it's a
be
good
like,
idea.
this read will be 5 minutes. If it's 5 minutes,
Love
okay.
that.
I'll spend my
Mhm.
time reading it for 5 minutes.
Who's like, "This article will be 27 minutes." Like,
They actually
who
there's
admits
like
that?
I know, right? This will take you 3 days to go through.
It will take Trizzy 3 days because she don't like reading your
Yeah.
articles, so
Exactly. And my comprehension, I can't comprehend things that well. So that's why I also rely on YouTube videos. That
Mhm,
is
mhm,
a big part of my research. I'm not loyal to one person. I'll go with the same people just to hear their experience, but then I also want to look for locals, who
mhm.
does like their own YouTube channels, and I'll do somebody that looks like me, an Asian woman
Yes, love that.
who's been there just to see what her experience is like.
That's good. Just like Rhino too, right? Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. There
The
you go.
app. Mhm.
And I've mentioned TripAdvisor before, but that's just to read recent reviews. If I don't see any recent reviews, I get a little like scared and skeptical.
Okay. I literally, whether I'm at home or abroad or wherever the hell I am, and no matter what I'm using, always, I don't even care like what it is. I always filter by most recent. Even when I'm looking at
Always.
reviews by on Best Buy or like on
Mhm.
Amazon or like on clothing shops like Abercrombie, reviews most recent. I change the
Yeah.
filter immediately. Do you do that?
Oh, always. I do that too.
Okay.
Amazon,
Okay.
Nike,
I'm like, I don't even
and
care about your
Orbitz
top
and all
review.
that.
I don't care what that
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
I want recent reviews because
Mhm.
that's the moment that we're spending right now. I don't care about 7 years ago because the manager
Don't.
might have changed, the hotel
Yep.
experience might have changed. So yeah, I'm
Yep.
with you on that.
That's good. Good, good.
Instagram as well. I'll use that. Pinterest. If y'all didn't know, I'm a huge pinner.
She is.
I am.
If
I
you
love
don't
my
know,
Pinterest.
Trizzy started our Ticket to Anywhere
Yes,
on
follow
Pinterest.
us.
So please go be friends with us. We got some great advice and
Mhm.
great clips on there.
Exactly. Our boards, we have like tips, tricks, and hacks. We have location, destination boards. So
Hmm.
find us on Pinterest. Make me proud. I love pinning things. That's probably like one of the fun fact that people probably don't know about me. Is I'm a
Yeah,
big
you're a
pinner.
big pinner. You're a
Yeah.
big tweeter too.
Yeah, I
Trizzy
love
tweets a
Twitter.
lot.
Yeah.
He'll
I've
read your
got
article if it's 160 characters or less.
that's why that explains everything.
Because then you only got to read one sentence at a time. But
Mhm.
will you expand the chains? Will you
Yeah.
expand the
I
chains?
will
Okay.
expand the chain. Yeah, because people just get straight to the point.
Yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
going to write an article for Trizzy, please make it a Twitter chain.
Yeah. And what's frustrating, this is off subject, but I've been cooking a lot lately and I'm always
Hmm.
finding recipes online and it frustrates me how long people's articles have to
Oh,
be before they get to the recipe.
that is like a known thing in the cooking world. Girl, you know what I do? I scroll straight to the recipe
Mhm.
list. I'm like, I don't care that it was a warm, sunny day in Chicago and that a lemon fell on your head and then you thought I should make lemon meringue pie. I don't care about that. I don't care. No one cares. I want to know what's in this lemon meringue pie.
I'm craving for it. Let's just get
Am
to
I
the
right?
point.
Am I right? Like, come on
Right.
now.
It's like put the recipe first and then you could write about your
No,
story.
girl, because
Like,
they want to increase that time on page, please.
mhm. Mhm. All that scrolling, giving me arthritis in this finger, my index finger.
She's trying to plan a trip, not trying to get arthritis from your
Right,
article.
yeah, and I'm trying to eat dinner too.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the apps that I use or the resources that I use. When I'm in the outdoor mood, which is all the time, All Trails is my guide.
Mhm.
And from All Trails, I'll also do Google Map on satellite just to make
Yes.
sure parking
Google Map.
is,
Mhm.
like plentiful or where I can park, if it's safe.
Mhm.
Um, and Yelp for all the food. If
Mhm.
I didn't know, I'm also a Yelp elite. Find
She is
me,
Yelp elite.
find me.
I don't know if we said this on the last episode we did together, but
Mm-mm.
Trizzy is Yelp elite, yo. Yelp elite class of 2022. I am so proud of her. Please go follow her on Yelp. You can follow me too, but I am not elite. So,
Come eat with me. I love it. For
yes,
some fried
come
chicken
eat
or
with her.
boba, I'm all about it. Don't
Just no
hesitate.
seafood. No seafood.
Yeah, no seafood. No opening up cans of tuna in my house.
No.
Okay, Leah.
We're joking about this
uh,
because I was about to go over to her house and
mhm.
bring tuna. But then I was like, she's going to exile me to the outside of the house if I do this. So,
Yeah, that won't be fun. Now here we are. Last but not least, going back to orbits when I do my research for flights. When I'm trying to keep track of flights, I usually use Hopper or Google Flights, and I know a lot of people use
okay.
Google Flights. Hopper
Hmm.
has is just a cute layout, and I've had a like pretty good accuracy rate from
That's
Hopper.
good.
Like they'll notify me about like the price to Seattle going to Seattle during Christmas time has dropped. Like book now or keep
Oh, that's
waiting.
good.
So it's always
Hmm.
been very consistent and accurate for me. They have a platform or a feature where you could buy the flight through Hopper and get like
Mm-hmm.
10 credits back. I've never tried it before. I don't really feel the need that I need to because I have a lot of
Hmm.
loyalty somewhere else. But if anybody has tried Hopper, booking through Hopper, let me know in the comments because I'm curious to see how that works and how useful it is for you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. I haven't used Hopper in forever, I'm not
So
gonna
you've
lie.
used it
Like,
before.
I have, but you know what?
Okay.
I felt like I had one too many, like, non-ideal experiences, as in, like, it wasn't actually getting me the best price or the lowest
Mm,
price. It wasn't, like, working the way that is it tended to work, and so I just
gotcha.
stopped using it.
Okay.
So I don't
Right.
use it
I mean,
anymore.
Google Flights, that's
Yeah.
where people tend to go to.
And Google
So,
Flights, I didn't go back. I was off of Google Flights for, like, years. I make it sound like it was like
oh,
an X or something. Yeah, I didn't use
right.
it for years. I was like solely Skyscanner for like 4 years.
I
Like the
don't use
past 4 years. And then
Skyscanner.
Google Flights, you don't use Skyscanner.
Mm-mm,
Which is
I don't.
crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like you use Hopper, I don't. I use Skyscanner, you don't. Like Skyscanner was my number, like my main chick for 4 years.
Oh,
And then just recently, because Google Flights, I wasn't finding the cheapest either. So I'm like,
okay.
okay, let me hop back onto Google Flights. I think it was like this year. And I was like, okay, maybe it's actually working, the updated algorithm. So now I use both. But
Gotcha.
that's so funny that like you that
I
we
should
use
check
even
out
like
Skyscanner because I've heard a lot of people using it. Like, you
I
mentioned it a
love
lot.
Skyscanner.
Okay.
The only
I
thing
got
is
to
they
check it
don't
out.
include Southwest flights.
And the order that I go is never events first for me. I'm usually like flights and then
We're so
hotels. And
different.
then, well, like after flights, things are kind of jumbled.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
specific order for it.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah.
Well, mine's not really hard and fast either. It's just like
Mm,
normally this is what I find myself doing.
gotcha.
Yeah. I think I'm scared that like events will sell out, but I'm like, flights, I can always find a flight. It's okay. No, which is not necessarily the case, but I think I'm more like, oh, the event might sell out. And because then I'm like, what if I bought the flight and the event I went there for like wasn't happening
True.
because it
But then
sold
you'll just
out?
roam the city. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. On we're doing this episode piggybacking off of Bob from Traveler's Blueprint, but 2 months ago I was on Traveler's Blueprint doing an episode on how to navigate a new city, and this episode takes a lot of components from what I spoke on that episode. So we'll be sure to link it here as well. But it was so interesting because I was on it with two people who were completely different from me.
Oh, fun. I gotta check
They're
that
just
out.
like, I don't know, I blindfold myself and like throw a dart at a map and that's where I go. I was like, oh man. I was like,
That
I
would
sound
be
like a drill
fun.
sergeant compared to you
Yeah.
guys. Yeah. We should do it
There's
sometime.
we should. There's this thing they were at I think they were at Wonderfest, or at least I got like a postcard or some sort of
Mhm.
promotional kit from them. I think it was like Pack Up and Go,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Have you
yeah,
heard of them?
yeah.
It's like
I
you put
have.
in your
Hmm.
budget and they do everything for you or something.
Oof. What
You
if it's
should
like to a
totally.
place I've already been to? Can you make that like
You
exception?
could,
Can you
yeah,
be like, can you
you
just
have
not
like
send me to somewhere I've been to
exactly.
already?
Yeah, they'll ask you
Okay.
questions like do you want a beachy place? Do you want a cold
Mm.
place? Do you want city? Do
Hmm.
you want a desert or something? So that would be a future
Ooh.
T2A episode.
Yeah, look out for that. Filming on location.
Yeah, right. That's cool. But that's
Exactly.
basically all my apps and researching, like how I do
Yeah.
my research and stuff.
I
So,
cannot. I didn't realize. See, you guys, this is why you need to listen into this because, like, we're finding new. We've been friends for 15 years, and we still like find out new things about each other all the time. That we're
mhm.
completely opposite when it comes to planning.
Two voices, two views.
Exactly. That's why we started this, right?
That's right.
And now I know we
Yes.
we both kind of touched on like our apps and whatnot, but we're gonna go through them again because, like we said, we love giving people straight up information. So
Mhm.
this is the section you want to pause, take notes at. if you want some of the best apps that we can use. And then Trizzy, as I'm going through this list, just jump in whenever.
For sure.
Um, so I'll go through the main ones and then some location specific ones. Like we said, for flights, Skyscanner, Google Flights, Hopper, that's
Mhm.
Trizzy. Leah's more Skyscanner, both of us are Google Flights. I use booking.com. I know Trizzy loves Orbitz. I am like a booking.com like poster child. I'm obsessed with them. I just love how it's also global. I know Orbitz is too, but it's global, and the refund fee, I mean, sorry, the what's it called? Cancellation policies are very flexible. And I know lots of people that have had booking.com problems, but fingers crossed, luckily not for the future. I have not yet. So
Nice.
until I do, I'm going to keep using them, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So hotels.com I use as my backup. It's generally a little bit more slash a lot more expensive. But I'm always wondering. I'm like, does booking.com probably eats a lot of the cost, because how are they continuously cheaper than other people,
That's
right?
true. I wonder who their investors are. Maybe they have
That's what
really good
yeah, it's
investors.
so curious. And hotels.com I use as a backup because I go and
Mm.
I hold all you booking platforms, cover your ears, because I hold multiple hotels and then I cancel all the ones I don't need.
Hey, it's process
So I
of
hold a lot.
elimination.
It is. Does anyone else do this? Does anyone else hold multiple hotels on multiple sites and then book them right before the payment hits? I mean, sorry, cancel them right before the payment hits? Because that's what I'm doing for Bali. That's what I'm doing for Texas. Because I'm like, I don't know which one I'm going to want to stay at yet.
Damn. I think I have too much anxiety to be doing that because I fear that I'll forget because I have multiple, then I'll forget, and then they just start charging me. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I have 3 places to stay."
You should see how many. Oh my god! Don't look at how many I have for don't look. But that's why, and I told you this, like I put calendar reminder after calendar reminder after calendar reminder. Cancel
Mm,
this, cancel this, cancel this. And I do it like well in advance. Like I pretend that the cancel by date is like 2 days sooner than it really is. Do you know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah,
So then I'll put reminders for that. So
that's right.
anyways, for hostels, sometimes Hostel World and Hostel Group is also good to look at as well. And they're not necessarily a third party; they lead you straight to their platform. So I always love supporting, hostels in that sense by booking direct whenever I can.
Mhm.
And as far as like organization, Google Sheets, you and I, big Google Sheets people.
Yes. Has to be sheets.
Has to be Sheets. She's literally refused documents from me because they were in Word doc.
It was
Because
like
they were
Google
not
Doc, and I'm like,
in,
"No,
yeah, she's like, "No, I don't have this app. Don't make me do it. Put it in a Google Sheet." I'm like, "What?"
I don't wanna have to download a separate
Oh,
doc
yeah.
app,"
Oh, I
which
get
is
it.
so
I get
whack.
it.
Come on, Google. Should be all
You
in one.
need right? You
Yeah.
also need oh, absolutely should be all in one, but you need more space on your phone too.
Yes, yes, I do, because 'cause I'm not upgrading until my phone dies.
Girl. All right, next time I'm there, I'm gonna smash it. So then you'll be forced to go get a new phone. Do you use your iPhone Notes? That's the next app.
I
iPhone Notes, I
do. You
use a
know what?
lot.
I
Okay.
I used to do that, like, religiously for
Okay.
trips, but
But you
now
moved to Sheets or
I
what?
moved to Sheets more. Notes would
Okay.
just be
Why is
kinda, like,
that?
super brainstorm, and then Sheets would
Okay. Yeah,
be,
fast.
like, more detailed. Um,
Planning. Yep.
exactly. I don't know. I feel like sometimes notes could be what is it?
Oh, it's like a Word
Shaky in
doc.
some
That's
way?
why you don't like it. You need those grid lines. You need those grid lines in there.
Exactly, I need the grid lines, I need to see the
Oh,
highlights, the different
stop.
colors, and I need it to sum up my budgeting
Mhm.
easily, so,
Mhm.
yeah, I just find it
But
just so much
I'm
better
the
and
same as
easier.
you though. Like I notes are on the go for me, and then
Mhm,
maybe say at the end of the day I'll transfer everything to like a Google Sheet.
totally, yeah,
So I'm the same way for sure.
mhm. I still have, itineraries on my iPhone notes from old trips and stuff like that, So,
Oh,
mhm.
maybe should we release the archives, you guys? Should we release them so y'all can
Let's
see
release them.
these?
If y'all want a Sedona trip, I got you.
Oh, wait, people could
Yeah.
use this?
Yeah.
Okay. All
I'll
right,
put
I
it
think
on
we
a
should.
nice T2A background.
Yes, there we go. There we go. With notes, oh, actually, I was gonna say for even faster, I did this the other day on the way to Trader Joe's. Like I had to be hands free, so I was literally speaking into my phone in the voice memos. I
Oh,
literally said,
smart.
"You'd laugh." I literally was like, "Trader Joe's, milk, mushrooms, asparagus, cottage cheese, low fat, jalapeno vodka." I was literally making a note, talking to myself. But I'll do that when I'm on when I'm traveling or on trips too. Like
Mm,
if I literally don't have time to like be writing it a note, looking at it, I'll just record a
yeah,
note to myself.
smart. I should use the
Voice
voice notes
memos.
more. I think Imma
I
do
love
that.
voice notes.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, you do.
And
Yeah,
then
Imma
you
start
listen
doing
back to
that.
them and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like my voice. Ugh.
I know, like the same. As we're on a podcast, my voice. Ugh.
Right?
An app that I also use in addition to iPhone Notes, actually, it was my OG Notes app called Clear. It is amazing because it's a pure checklist app and it's these like
Mm.
cool bars that you just like check. You check and there's a really satisfying ding when you check it. And you can change the background theme and it's beautiful and it used to be free but I was grandfathered in so now it's like $1.99 a month. But if you're
Wow.
obsessed with checklists like I am, you will probably love it because you can do themes, you can do multiple lists, you can like resurrect an item so you just swipe the other way to bring the item back.
Mhm.
You can add reminders now, you can add dates now. Like it's awesome. So Clear, Clear,
Mhm.
Clear checklist app. That's all you have to search for. But I was
Do
grandfathered
you
in. So
Okay. So do you not use the reminders app on the iPhone?
no, I don't. You're right. I don't use reminders because I put everything in my calendar.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
how I get reminded about things. Yeah. I put everything in my
Got you.
calendar. And then I use my timer app a lot, like go to
Mhm.
bed in 9 hours. My time, my clock be like 9 hours from now, alarm to go to bed.
Okay, there you go.
But yeah, you use the reminders app?
I do. I have like a packing list for like camping, a packing list for like tropical places.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
very specific because things are different. So I had to
Yeah,
obviously make a new one for Finland because that was a different territory.
that's so fun. We are different because I do my packing lists in either Notes or in Clear app.
You do it in notes? Well, I guess notes now you could check
Because
it
you can
off.
have the bullet where you can check, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the
right.
thing. That's why I use Clear still, but it's not my sole app, right? Now I
Yeah.
also use iPhone Notes because they added, right when they added that checklist, that's when I was like, ooh, this is so satisfying seeing like the
Mm.
yellow check and then seeing it move down the list. I love that stuff.
Okay, okay.
I'm obsessed. I'm such a checklist person, which is so bad, like a to
It
do,
helps.
to
Yeah.
do, to do. And then the last few ones, Spanish Dict, which is short for Spanish Dictionary. No giggling. This is one app. It's like I know. I generally go to a lot of Spanish speaking countries in Central and South America, so I'm always using it to translate certain words, but it's better if you know a little bit of Spanish already. Google Translate isn't always correct. Google Translate works better with languages that don't use characters, but because with characters I
Oh.
think it's hard to use Google Translate. It's a little bit different. It's a little tough.
Mhm.
But Google Translate, I mean, I use it, but I don't like using it.
Right,
I just feel
okay.
like it's not always accurate, you know?
Mhm.
And then I have a conversion app called Convert Lite, but I also think I was grandfathered into that because I think you have to pay for it now. But I've had it for
Mm.
so long that I that I don't pay for it. I do have some ads, but I also just memorize whatever the conversion is and then I just use my calculator.
Yeah.
What
That's
do you do for converting?
so if it's like a number that I totally can't convert into my head, I'll just go on Google and I'll type in, let's say,
Mm, mhm.
3,000 baht to USD, and then they'll give me the conversion from there.
And then the last chunk of apps that are specific to regions that we love to use, like in South America, I use BusBud, which is kind of like a Rome to Rio, but I think more prevalent in South America. Also in South America and in Central America, a lot of times you just gotta walk up to the terminal and ask them what their bus times are.
Nice.
So but Bus Bud is pretty good, pretty inexpensive. You can reserve beforehand. And then in Asia, Trizzy and I use these a lot. 12 Go,
Mhm.
transportation. Grab is like the Uber of Asia.
Yeah.
And Agoda is like the Orbitz or the booking.com of Asia. And I say that
Mhm.
because I think Agoda is global. However, it's like really popular in Asia. Is that right?
Yeah, I feel like it is. Every
Okay.
time we're booking, like Thailand or Philippines, it was always like through Agoda. And what I've
Yeah.
noticed too, booking in the Philippines, it's like you could still book through Agoda, but for
Mm-hmm.
some reason they won't charge your credit card. You have to email them or
Mm.
call them to confirm
Mm.
everything, and then they'll get your credit card information, and then
Interesting.
they'll book it. Yeah, like there's a few
Okay.
hotels that we've taken a photo of our credit cards and sent it to them, and
Hmm.
they charged it, and yeah. It's like
Interesting.
an
All
extra
right.
step, which is
Yeah.
annoying, but you could trust them. Like, through our
Okay.
experience, we haven't had anything, crazy happen.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I feel like I don't use Agoda anywhere else except for Asia. So that's why I say it's probably a good additional hotel app or resource if anyone wants to look there. And I have found as I'm researching Bali right now, like they tend to be slightly cheaper than some other apps just because they're trying to get you deals. They're trying to get you to book on
Right.
their site.
Yeah.
So
And you do get status on there, like, there is a tier,
yes,
like a
you do,
VIP
which is
tier or
cool.
something. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
do a lot of cross reference though. I'll cross reference between like booking, between hotels, and between Agoda and book whatever's the cheapest or whoever's giving me free breakfast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for
I'm not
sure.
picky. I'm not picky about breakfast. I'm like, just if it's free, I'm eating it. I'm taking it back to my bed and then I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it back to my bed because it probably ends at 7:30.
I know, yeah. Be sure to check all information of when breakfast starts and ends.
Oh, some of these places are ruthless. They don't
I
want you to
know.
have breakfast.
Mm-mm. They're like, "You rather go on a tour? Okay, this is what's gonna
Yeah,
happen."
I know. No breakfast for you.
Yeah. When we were in Thailand, there was a hotel who was very generous. We always had to wake up early to go on,
Mhm.
a tour, and we talked to
Mhm.
them, and we'll just be like, "Hey, we're not gonna be able to make it to, get breakfast. Do you have any other options?" They're like, "Oh, we could just pack up a breakfast for you, and then we'll send it to your room."
So cute. Oh my
So,
god, I
yeah,
love
it doesn't hurt
that.
to ask, so,
Mhm.
mm, yeah, ask them.
So, actually, that happened to me in Antigua in Guatemala. I
Mhm.
me and Mitch had to leave in the middle of the night. We literally left from a pool party at, like, 1 a.m., and I told the hostel, we're like, "Hey, we're only checking in for, like, half a day, because we're gonna leave, like, at 2 a.m. to go to the airport." And I thought we were gonna be sleeping, but we went out instead and partied. And they literally gave us a boxed, like, meal to eat in the middle of the night, but it was breakfast.
That's
And I was
awesome.
not expecting that, so we walk in, and of course, it was, like, gated and all the front desk was closed, but they had 2 bags there that said Leah and Mitch, and it was, like,
Love
banana,
it.
fruits, juice, bread, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so cute." It's, like, the middle of the night, but it was very, very kind.
Oh, 5
Yeah, it was
stars,
nice.
5
Oh,
stars.
100%. Would stay again, yes. Would you
Yes.
recommend to a friend? Yes.
Mhm. Damn
All
right.
right, budgeting.
Girl, my budgets are I don't even
All
know what
over
to
the
do with
place.
them. Yeah, they're all over the place. Sometimes, because when it comes to trips and vacations, I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm still in that frugal state, right? Like, I'm still looking for the best
Mhm.
deals, looking for cashbacks, looking for, like, incentives with mileage for every dollar that I spend. But I'll just be like, "Okay, that's fine. Let's just book the more
Yeah,
expensive flight for convenience. Let's book this
right?
hotel because it's next to the beach or something, like, I don't care. Let's
Mhm.
just do it."
Mhm. Mhm.
YOLO.
I think it's and it I feel like I've always seen you like that, right? But for me, I've changed a lot in the past 2.5 years. It's like I went from not wanting to spend a dime on anything to being like, I'll pay a little bit more for that because
Mhm.
and my mentality's always been, I'm like, when am I ever gonna be here again? Probably not. Like
There you
Bali
go.
for Americans is like such a once in a lifetime trip. And so it's hard for us to get there because it takes forever.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to hold back while I'm in Bali, right? And
Mhm.
in the past it was just different. Like especially if I know I'm going for 3 weeks then I'm coming back. Whereas like South America was there for a year, so I had to really be cognizant of like what I was spending every day, right? I couldn't just
Yeah.
go blow hundreds of dollars a day. That needs to last me at least a week.
Totally,
So
yes.
but, as far as maybe some budgeting resources and tips, like I always withdraw money at the airport, just a tiny, tiny bit to get me through to a money exchange. And I end up
Mhm.
always asking a local at the hostel or the hotel where the best money exchange is, what the best way to exchange the money is. And I have said this before, but if you do not have the Charles Schwab debit card. You need to get it. A lot
Mhm.
of other banks now are doing no transaction fees and no ATM withdrawal fees. Like my Novo Bank, which is
Mhm.
an online bank, also does zero transaction fees, zero ATM fees. So I go to a lot of cash heavy economy countries, right? So I'm always needing to pull in cash. But Charles Schwab, Novo, all these new banks, they're trying to be competitive. So they're taking away
Mhm.
all these fees. Um, do you
Works for
withdraw money
us.
at the airport?
Just to
What do you do?
get
What do you
me
do?
just to get me to the hotel or to
Right.
wherever I need to go. But I've taken money out of the ATM and I've exchanged at the hotel before and I've
Mhm.
exchanged at a money exchange place. So I've done like it all.
Everything.
It's
Yep.
whatever I need to. Usually the money exchange is early on in the trip, like I
Yes, of
want the
course.
best bang. So I go there. When it comes to exchanging at a hotel or ATM, those are when I'm low on cash and it's like an emergency, you know.
Okay.
Like I need to
So
pull
do you
money
take
out
out
now.
money right.
Mhm.
Do you take out money for the whole trip or do you just take it out as needed? Do you know what I mean? Like do you take out
Oh,
a
like
grand in the beginning or do you take
yeah,
out like 300 every couple days,
I bring everything with me first. Like I have it on
So
hand.
you'll take out like a grand in the beginning or
Mhm.
however much.
Exactly.
Dang, you're wild because I could not do that. I'd be too scared I'd lose it or
Let's
someone will
go.
mug me.
Yeah. I
I'm the type
mean,
I'll pull out like $300 like twice a week just to pull it out in increments.
oh, right. I think with me it's because I am a fast traveler that going to
Uh-huh.
ATM kind of takes time for me or if
Mhm.
going to a bank to take more money out is throwing my schedule off, and it's taking time out of my day.
Okay.
So that's how I view it.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
definitely think that's dependent on our different travel styles then because like I said, I stay at hostels a lot, right? So if I'm
Ah, there you
staying
go.
around other people, I think that's why I'm so guarded about how much money I am carrying.
Mhm. Totally.
Because, there are stories, luckily it hasn't happened to me, knock on wood,
Yeah,
but like there are
same.
stories about people rummaging through other people's things,
That's
finding
messed up.
cash. And I'm like, not going to be me. Nope, not today, not
Yeah.
ever, Satan. Right.
Mm-mm.
so, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I always pull it out like in
Mhm.
couple hundred, which is annoying though, because
Gotcha.
some days I'll be like, I'll pull out like an amount, a smaller amount, and then I'll like decide to go on like a boat tour or decide to do something. Then I'm like, oh, dang it. Now I need to pull out more cash because this cash isn't enough, you know?
Yeah. True, true. And so I've heard to always bring big bills too, like 100s and 50s,
Mm-hmm.
because for some reason they just have better exchange rates for bigger
Mm-hmm.
bills. If you're bringing like 20s,
That's
10s,
true.
5s, 1s, you're not gonna, I don't know why, I don't know how, but you're not gonna get um, the most bang for your buck.
That's true. Do you set budgets for trips or like budget per day, budget for the whole trip? How do you do
Mine
that?
is usually total trip.
Okay.
And it averages out to always $3,000 per person,
Mhm.
and that usually includes the flight and the hotel.
Oh,
And this
includes the
is
flight. Damn.
yeah, and
Maybe I'm
this
spending
this
more
is
than
for
you because
this is for
because
like
3 grand.
Asian
Yeah.
countries.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and even for Finland, we managed to stay within that budget too. But the flight to
Mhm.
Finland was actually cheaper than most because we went during the pandemic. But once we got on
Mhm.
land, that's when things were more expensive.
Yeah.
Um, but with Asia, yeah, once you get on land, depending on which
It's
Asian
cheap.
country
Yeah.
you go to, it's cheap. If you go to Philippines, Thailand, the US dollar is really strong there. So it
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
kind of pennies for us when we got there.
Damn, okay, my budget, I don't include the flight in my budget.
Like
So
on
maybe
land,
I'm, like, spending more than you.
maybe you are.
Well, London, London, I, like, balled out because I was like,
Hmm.
1, London's expensive. 2, I was, like, with seeing different friends every day, and what do we do when I go out and see friends? I go spend money because 'cause we're like, "Let's get drinks here, let's get food here, let's go to flight club
Yeah,
here," that type of stuff.
right, right.
Um, but I feel like all these, but Trizzy and I, we like write a prep sheet, and I had here on my budgets, like Philippines, I meant to spend 3K. London, it was 3K. Bali, which is coming up, I'm trying to spend 3K, but these 3Ks don't include my flights. They're just hotels and when I'm
Mm,
on the ground. So I'm like, and
wow.
even in the Philippines, 3K is what I spent on my money. Like my family spent some money on me. I'm not going
Hmm.
to disclose that amount, but like it pushed me over 3K. So I'm like, but if my family wasn't there and I had to pay that,
Yeah,
my trip dang girl, maybe I
you
am
are
the
the
bougie
bougie.
traveler.
Yes, you are. But I will say my recent or my upcoming trip to the Philippines, that is going to be way more than 3K. And that includes
Mm,
the flights.
yeah, because you're like sitting business class or something.
No, I wish. We're just doing a direct flight, so that's why
Direct flight.
yeah, direct flight and
Mm-hmm.
coach. Unless PAL Airlines wants to upgrade us if you're
I
listening.
know. Get this girl an upgrade, Philippine
Let's go.
Airlines.
Give you good content on the food.
Mm-hmm. Do you know if are there other things that have pushed like your budget with Philippines trip upcoming
Totally. Yeah.
already, like pushed it up? Like, what am I trying to say? As far as like
Yeah.
maybe there are fancier hotels or
Yeah.
transport form of transportation.
Our hotels are gonna spike it up.
Really?
So we're planning to do El Nido, and then two
Mm-hmm.
of the nights the hotel would be like $300-400 a night, and I'm like, what?
Wow, that's
Like
like
what?
That's like 7 stars
Hmm.
for the Philippines, huh?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but this is a place where everybody like talks about its beautiful beaches
Okay.
too.
I
So
can't
if
wait
it's
to
worth it,
see
it's worth
it.
it. Yeah.
Now you say 3 to 400. I'm like, that's like a regular night in New
Hmm.
York or San Francisco. Maybe not LA for like
That's true,
a
huh? Like,
3-star hotel.
yeah, your view
you
is the
know.
city instead of a nice turquoise white
Mm-hmm.
sand beach.
Is it a
Yeah.
bungalow, like an overwater bungalow?
No, 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 no. I
Okay.
wish. But it's just like right along the beach.
Okay. Ooh, I'm so excited to see that.
Yeah. And of course, we're going back to Boracay. That's where the wedding is. And we're going to stay, I think, two
Yay.
nights at Coast again.
Love it. We talk
Yeah.
about this in our first Philippines episode, like the bomb
Hmm.
breakfast that
Oh my gosh.
Trizzy had at Coast. Yes, it was so
Yeah.
good.
I know. Matcha
I
butter. I'm
hope they
coming
have
back
all
for
the
you.
same items for you. Yes.
I hope so too. Yeah. I'm devouring the Pandan ice cream soft serve next time.
Stop. Champurrado. I'm so jealous.
Okay, Bali.
Sidebar. Yeah, well, I'm excited because like I don't know how much this has to do with travel, but Koopy and I are doing a no added sugar month this month, and it's been hell.
Oh, girl.
For our fam out there, for our friends listening in, so every once in a while, me and a few friends will do no added sugar, and it sucks because I really think I am a sugar addict. I'm trying to look
Mm.
good for Bali, I'm trying to look
Especially
good.
for your coffee. Like, what are you doing with coffee?
Sugar free, everything, which like
Oh,
the flavors just, it's not the
okay.
same.
All right.
um and also it's not 21 days to break a habit anymore. It's like 70 days or to form a habit.
Oh, oh, oh.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
70 days. Which
What
makes
day are
sense.
you
I'm like
in?
21 days. I mean, we started July, 1st. So
Hey, I mean, that's
it's
18 days
tough.
right
No
there.
sugar is
Yeah.
always tough for me, but then it'd be
Good for
weird.
you.
Like I hope I don't go to Bali and just like
Get
drink
sick.
sugar, you know. I hope not.
True. Yeah, I hope not. I
Someone
think you'll
stop
be
me.
fine. I was just gonna jump back into budgeting because you usually come home hoping to have X amount saved up, whereas me, I don't really think about that. I'm like, okay, as long as I still could have a roof over my head and some food in the refrigerator,
Mhm.
then I'm good.
So my goal is always to try to come home with $100 like left of that budget, right? So say I
Mhm.
plan 3K for Bali, I would love to only have spent 2,900. But that's just because I try to challenge myself because apparently I like to spend money. So,
And it's
and I
fun.
like to have
Challenge is always
it
fun.
is, yeah. And I love your way of looking at it because like vacation money is vacation money. And like I said earlier, like when's the next time I'm going to be in Bali? Probably, who knows, maybe never again, right?
Mhm.
But I don't know. I guess it's a fun challenge to also try to like curve my spending so I don't go too crazy too because, I'll be known to have a good time, maybe too good of a time, maybe blow all the
Yeah.
money. So it's
Do
just
what
it's
you
just
gotta
a
do.
personal challenge. Yeah, just a personal
Mhm.
challenge I like to do. I would say I'm like 50% of the trips I've done it. The other half I haven't.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
I think my challenge
Mhm.
for upcoming trips in general would be to travel minimally instead of because what I
Ooh,
usually would
yes.
do is if I'm spending 2 weeks in Thailand, I bring 2 weeks worth of clothes like every single day. Like there's
Right,
a
right.
new outfit. And I'm like kind of tired of that because I want to travel light, I want to travel minimal.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
my challenge is to kind of go with maybe five outfits for a
Mhm.
2 week trip and see what I could do. Like hand wash it like a local,
Yes, with
you
your
know,
Dr.
your Dr.
Bronner's
Bronner's.
soap, yo, from the 8
Yes,
different scents you can choose from.
that's right. That's right. And
It's
yeah,
so
let's see
good.
if I could travel minimally. That's my
Do you
challenge.
not change during the day if, like, things get
Um,
sweaty?
well, see, it's tough. No, no, no. I'll have like morning clothes or like during the day
Okay.
clothes, and then I have
Yep.
my nighttime clothes. So that's
Okay.
like, think about
You
like
do
that's two
change,
outfits
yeah.
per days. Yeah, I do change. So it's like insane.
Okay.
And on top of that, sometimes I have workout clothes because I like to
Mhm.
work out on my
Mhm.
trips. So
Yeah.
it's just like way too much stuff. So I'm trying to kind of utilize every single
But
clothing in different
you don't
forms.
rewear items?
No.
What? Okay, this is like a
Yeah.
game changer because I guess because I've traveled for so long that I had
Mhm.
to. Like, in
Yeah.
South America that whole year, the first time I changed out anything in my bag was June. I had already been there for 6 months. So I've been wearing the same clothes for 6 months. And I was living there like in an apartment, you know? So that's so crazy. But yeah, I guess on places like Bali, like I mix and match a lot and I'm pretty decent about that. And every once in a while I'll go buy stuff. Yeah, I didn't know that you bring 14 outfits.
I know, it's annoying. And, like, with swimsuits, it's easy, it dries fast, so
Yeah.
I reuse, like, the swimsuits and things like that, but
Mhm.
usually, like, going out clothes, yeah, it's always new every
I
day.
didn't know, girl, you need to bring some of that Dr. Bronner's with you and
I
you need
know,
to
I
mix and
will.
match. I know you
Heck
can do it
yeah.
for the Philippines one.
Mhm.
Also, everyone will tell us this out there. No one pays attention to what we're wearing. They really
Yeah.
don't.
Especially if it's neutral colors, which is gonna be my new type
Exactly.
of wardrobe.
Your capsule wardrobe, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, creating a travel plan, budgeting resources, we really hope this helped you out there looking for new or more structured ways to travel, how to put together a plan, and if you're new here, it gave you some insight on what we're like and what we'll continue to talk about on this podcast on Ticket to Anywhere.
Yeah, totally. And this is kind of just getting to know Leah and I more as well, because we have gotten to know each other even 10 times more.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a great all-in-one episode, hopefully. So thank you all for listening in again.
Yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Ticket to Anywhere podcast. Don't forget to connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. If you love travel as much as we do, hit subscribe on our YouTube channel, as well as anywhere you listen to podcasts such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Pocket Casts. Thank you all for your support so far. When you have the time, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We love to hear your thoughts and feedback, and it'll help others come across our episodes and hopefully be inspired to travel and adventure anywhere.